Hello everybody and welcome to something a little bit new for the channel. We are going to be doing a visual novel today, so all please do grab yourselves a cup of tea. And we are going to be playing Ambition, a Minuet in Power. We are going to be scheming and climbing our way up the social ladder. Thanks very much to Joy Manufacturing Co., the developer, and Iceberg Interactive for the key. And we're going to be having a little look at the story of a young lady called Yvette, who is a little bit poor and countrified, but wants to be like the queen or something. So let's let's continue on. And it's all set in the French Revolution. My French is terrible. I'll just let you know that before now. There's bits of French in this and I can't say any of them. Okay, so the carriage rumbles and bounces along the cobbles as you approach Paris. It's taken over a week to get here, even carrying just yourself and your luggage. For now, though, you've already finished all of your books, and Armand's letter is your only entertainment, other than staring out the window. Reading the letter one more time wouldn't hurt. You must have read the brief letter over 100 times, but you always found new details to puzzle over. Armand's letters were often extremely long, a habit you'd frequently tease him for, in your own missives. Chérie Yvette, I know it may be sudden, but I want to invite you to live with me in Paris. Back in your provincial hometown, you were engaged to Armand before he moved north to Paris to participate in the Estates General. He dreamed of changing the country, and this was the political event of the century. You mailed love letters soaked in perfume. He replied with volumes about how much he misses you. The romance of it all helped make up for the inconvenience. Not that your parents cared much about the romance. At first, you'd been afraid to tell them their youngest daughter wanted to move far away. Instead, they nearly threw you onto the carriage to follow Armand to Paris. He's a good match. While you understood the significant benefits your common family would receive from your marriage into a noble one, you couldn't help but be a little annoyed at their eagerness to see you off. I don't think any daughter in that time period, 1790s, would have expected anything different from their parents, to be honest. I can't wait for you to see it. It's unlike anything back home, a truly vital place where anyone can be anything. Je t'embrasse. Embrace. Armand. That was something you were looking forward to. A chance to be something more. The only reason I know how to say Armand is because of, like, Anne Rice vampire novels. After all, Baroness Yvette de Marbeau has a certain ring to it. Coachman, can we pick up the pace, please? Actually, no, let's take in the sights. You crane your neck out the window to peer at Paris. It's even more than you imagined. The street, even more what than you imagined? Just more of everything. The streets are a riot of colour and energy as people go about their days. Elegant persons of fashion strut like brilliant peacocks. Students stumble under the weight of their books. Beggars alternate between pleading for alms and shouting invectives at passers-by. Everything feels significant, like the world's next act hinges on all their choices. Though part of you is worried by your unfamiliar surroundings, you mostly feel excited. This place is to be the stage for your new life. Before you know it, the carriage starts slowing down. You must be here. Armand arranged to meet you at a tavern named the Orphan's Feast. As tired and rumpled as you are, you're glad that he planned to meet you in a place with ample food and wine. When you arrive, the coachman helps you. Here we are. On the street, I guess that one of these buildings is the place. Doesn't have like an inn sign outside or anything. Maybe that's not a thing in France. So anyway, when you arrive, the coachman helps you out of the carriage and you find yourself outside a glowing, friendly-looking tavern. The sign shows a grubby-looking child holding a plate piled high with fresh bread and roasted meats. This must be the place. I'm not rude enough to say here goes nothing, even just in front of the carriage driver. That's just... How am I expected to climb the social ladder with rudeness? You're only allowed to be rude once you're, like, a dowager countess, okay? Once you get to that point and you're old, you can be as sassy as you want. Inside, a woman polishing a lantern looks up at you as you enter, and her face breaks into a bright smile. Bonjour, madame, and welcome to the Orphan's Feast. Her eyes linger expectantly on the door for a moment before settling on you. You're suddenly reminded of how rare it is for women to travel by themselves. That's positively scandalous. How may I be of service, she asks. This is my first time here. Is there anything I should know to help me find my fiancé? Tutorial. I'm looking for my fiancé, Baron Armand de Marbo. No tutorial. Let's do tutorial. Don't worry, while the rest of the city can be rather cutthroat, the Orphan's Feast is a relaxed place for getting your feet under you. The woman puts down the lantern she was polishing. She favours you with a devious smile. Find guests worth talking to, and try to say the right things to the right people. See, for that we need information, because otherwise you can't. So yeah, okay, I'll try. You never have time to talk to everyone, so try to use your time wisely. I'm sure if you ask around, you'll be able to find your fiancé in no time. When she puts it that way, it suddenly sounds so easy. While you only have one outfit to your name at the moment, the Orphan's Feast doesn't feel like a particularly judgmental place in terms of fashion. Your credibility won't be shifted by what you're wearing here. Right, so I've only got one outfit for my name, to my name, right? But I've got a big pile of luggage that I'm carting around. What's in it? Bricks? Books? No idea. As long as you explore the tavern and talk to people, you should be able to find Armand soon enough. Okay, so this is the party map select. So you get 2 turns. You're allowed to speak to 2 people. So I can speak more to the lady that I already spoke to. I can speak to this gentleman here or this gentleman here. So this person I can get -5 to 10 credibility. So I could lose credibility or gain it. 0 to 5 peril. So these are your credibility and peril meters up here. This one could give you Ludovico favor, Alex favor, and Honorard favor. So I think these are certain factions or people that you can get some favor with. That might be useful. And see if the staff knows where you can find Armand. So you could get -5 to 0 livrey. Livrey, I might not be saying that right. Because I thought the French used francs. Did they use something different back in the day? Back in the revolutionary days? Maybe. Maybe there's a different currency back then. I've no idea. And yet, it's in pounds. Love it. Okay, so 5 to 0 coins. 0 to 5 credibility and 0 to 10 peril. I kind of think the best thing to do would maybe be to see if I can chat to this gentleman here. Or do I... No, I'll chat to the staff actually first. Because what I was saying is maybe I'll get information and then maybe I can speak to him next with some information under my belt. So that might be useful. Okay, let's try and talk to the staff first. You sweep your gaze over the crowded tavern and strain your ears for the sound of Armand's voice, but have yet to find anything. It's hard to walk around with all of your luggage, which only slows your progress further. It keeps talking about all this luggage and I only have one dress. Like, what? Am I like smuggling stuff into the country or something? The other patrons don't look particularly happy with you either. You bump into yet countless patrons with your bags, and your searching is starting to give the impression you're eavesdropping. Just as you start to feel a little frustrated by this, the barmaid from before approaches you. Madame, you look parched. Can I get you anything? House wine. I'm going to spend money here because I think that will give me a bit more credibility with the serving staff. Rather than just being like, I'm not going to spend anything. I'm not a customer, but I'm just going to ask you for stuff. With a smile, she seats you at a nearby table before heading to the basement to fetch your drink. She returns and presents you with the bottle before pouring a dram into your glass. You sample the wine and signal your approval by placing a few livres on the table. The barmaid scoops up the coins with a grateful smile. Now that you're sitting some of the house wine, you can see that the other patrons relax more around you. You're just another person stopping in for some rest and a quick drink. You've gained a little bit of credibility. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Is there anything else I can get you, madame? Actually, could you help me find my fiancé? He's supposed to be here. Oh, a missing person. That sounds interesting. What's he like? I think she's more likely to know him from maybe... Yeah, we'll go with the pamphlet thing. He's intelligent, wears a blue coat, and always has a book or pamphlet with him. A smart fellow like that shouldn't be too hard to notice. You just stay here, and I'll see what I can find. Oh, she's going to do the asking for me. She leaves your table to inquire with the other patrons about Armand. You're not sure if your description was enough to go off of, but she knows the place better than you do. Perhaps she'll have better luck. She returns a few minutes later and gives you a shrug. Madame, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but I simply can't find your Armand anywhere. She slips a piece of paper to you. You glance down and see a hastily written note. Don't know what's going on. Patrons get upset when I mention your fiancé. Even the owner won't talk. An easy credibility challenge. Well, I've got some credibility. It appears you left something off my receipt. Pardon-moi. Pardon-moi. You stare at her expectantly, hoping that she'll grasp your intent. No, madame. I believe your receipt has everything on it we can put on it, she replies flatly. You've gained some peril. Ooh. While perilous decisions can often get you what you want, if your peril bar fills up, it means something unfortunate will happen to you. Be careful with how much you take on. She gives you a quick curtsy and shuffles away, taking care to avoid any eye contact with you as she leaves. We don't want too much peril. How do we get rid of peril? Okay. So now we can converse with the other guests, I'm guessing, these two. After hours of questioning and searching, it's late in the evening and you've still yet to find Armand. You're not even sure why, but you feel exhausted. Who knew talking to people was such hard work? Now you're warmed up. This may be your chance to finally find out where Armand is. You approach a woman who you had spotted glancing your way earlier. My name is Yvette. I'm looking for someone. Can you help me? She laughs nervously at your request, shifting from foot to foot. She makes small talk for a brief moment before excusing herself and disappearing into the crowd. The room appears to be emptying out. Excuse me, can you help a woman in need? Do you know of a man named Armand? Looks at you, glances over to the woman who you spoke with earlier, and quickens his pace as he walks by. Oh no! The room is emptying out even faster now. You manage to get the attention of another woman. Could you... She doesn't even slow down before she leaves. After a third person gives you the cold shoulder, you start to wonder what happened. Are you really that out of place? Is it something about Armand? What's going on here? Still, you check around the orphan's feast one last time. There's still no sign of Armand, not even an open tab with the tavern keep. Well, Armand, you've put me in peril and you've stood me up. At least I had some wine, though. After waiting around for a few hours, you leave the orphan's feast, dragging your small mountain of luggage behind you. After all, the coach was only hired to take you to the tavern. Armand might not have been waiting for you like he said he would. But you memorised his address from all the times you wrote it on your letters to him. It's the middle of the night, but the street is still teeming with life. The light from the windows and the street lamps sparkle like the stars. You're tired and your feet hurt, but still, you can't help but smile. This is it. This is Paris. No matter what happens, you're still here. For a brief moment, you're not a country girl dragging luggage through the streets. You're the person you feel you are when you close your eyes alone. You're overseeing a grand salon, surrounded by poets, musicians, scientists, philosophers, and artists. You're elegant, sophisticated, and respected. You're getting close to the address. Armand never described his living conditions much, but he's the son of a baron, and his family was always well-to-do, especially compared to yours. You spent a lot of time in that carriage wondering about the home you'd spend your new life in. Still, you didn't expect this. That needs a bit of plaster work done. Calling the house rustic would imply you were out in the country, not in the centre of the city. The neighbourhood is nice enough, but you're worried. Yeah, the houses to either side must be well annoyed at that house. They need one of those housing associations, don't they? Okay, so you're worried if you breathe too hard on the building, it'll fall over. A well-kept woman in the attire of a maid opens the door and approaches you. Oh, bonsoir. I assume you must be Madame Yvette. My name is Camille. Monsieur Armand told me to expect you. Okay. Merci, Camille. Please take me to Armand. Is this where he lives? Oh God, the rats in there ate him, didn't they? No, I'm not that rude. I was hoping he was with you, Camille replies hesitantly. I haven't seen him in days. Thank you, Camille. Do you think Armand's all right? I'm sure he's fine, madame. Camille replies with a tone of voice that doesn't fill you with confidence. Glancing around, Camille seems to notice your mountain of luggage for the first time. Bonjour, madame. Did you carry this all yourself? You must be exhausted. She's not wrong. You're not certain how you're still upright and awake right now. I've already made up your bed, madame. Please go inside and let me take care of this. You take your diary and leave the heavy lifting to Camille. The inside of the house isn't much better than the outside. Camille keeps the place tidy, but she can only do so much. Still, you don't care about that right now. You're just happy to have a roof over your head. You flop down on a nearby couch, open your diary and start to write. You're tired, disappointed, perhaps abandoned. But writing things down always helps you make sense of a situation. So the Orphans' Feast, hosted by Professor Henry Montfort. We didn't lose any novelty. We gained a little bit of peril, a little bit of credibility, which is good. Peril is bad, and we lost a little bit of money as well, unfortunately. So we are on the next day now, 1789. Early the next morning, Camille approaches you, occasionally wringing her apron with her hands. She's obviously nervous. Madame, there's something you should know. Taking a deep breath, she continues. You're expected to attend a party the day after tomorrow, held by one Viscountess Marcel de Foix. I mean, Armand replied to the invitation, but you were to be his date. What do you know about the Viscountess de Foix? I'm sorry, madame, but a Viscountess, it felt above my station. So I tried not to pay attention whenever she came up, Camille replies with a shrug. I know she never visited the house. Monsieur Armand seemed to like her, but from what I could tell, she was a little, how do I put this? Judgmental. She was a little very judgmental. I hope that helps, madame. Well, at least I have a party to go to. Camille looks visibly relieved. Parfait, if you need anything washed or prepared, just ask. That reminds me, Camille exclaims. If you're going to a party, you should probably make sure you're dressed appropriately. Fashion moves so quickly here that people retire outfits before they even wear out. At this proclamation, you can't help but notice Camille's uniform has been repaired many, many times. Camille continues, Monsieur Armand was always going through clothes so quickly. He said that every outfit had a certain amount of novelty. Every time you wore them to a party, the novelty would go down a bit. In fact, even a little thing like wearing the same thing twice in a row could run the novelty out faster. Can you imagine? Yes, I can. Fortunately, he knew the most delightful clothier on Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honor. She runs a shop called Le Petit Mogul. I'll draw you some directions. Immediately, she starts sketching some directions, mostly just simple renderings of local landmarks. Le Petit Mogul is now available to visit in the Paris map. If you head out today, you should be well prepared for the party tomorrow night. Let's go clothes shopping. So, request the attendance of Baron Armand de Marbeau on 22nd Mars 1789 to a gathering of her most loyal peers for entertainment and merriment, your most eagerly awaited. You will receive crown gossip at this party. I figure this means I need to be going for stuff that will impress the crown then. Alright, let's go. Let's go shopping. So, we can only go to one place at the moment. But that is fine. It's a long walk to the Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honor, but the trek to the narrow street is worth it. Every block hums with a vibrant energy bursting with life. Porters and social climbers wind their way through the streets festooned with brightly coloured parcels. Paris may be a city swimming in fashion and finery, but this is the source. The street is home to all the major fashion houses in the country, and remember this is France, so that's like top of the top. And to Rose Burton, personal dressmaker to the Queen herself. We want to get in her shop. And now you're here, back home, they sigh and dream of places like this, then quietly get back to their little lives. Not you. Your circumstances may be less than ideal, but you're still here. Le Petit Mogul, you mumble to yourself idly, trying to make sure you remember the name of the shop. Eventually, you find a small boutique tucked between some far grander buildings. You open the door and walk into the tiny shop. which seems even smaller due to how absolutely full it is. This isn't just a boutique, it's a workshop for whoever works here. Rolls of gorgeous fabric cover every available surface. A cloying smoke hangs in the air. The scent is pleasant, but wholly unfamiliar. As soon as the door swings shut behind you, you hear a sudden rustling of fabric further in the store. A customer! Hamdullah! A surprisingly young voice calls out. Bonjour, madame, and welcome to Le Petit Mogul. A woman, presumably the owner, calls out to you. How may I help you? All of this is so new. What can you tell? Tutorial needed. What can you tell me about the outfits and fashion? At those words, she looks giddy to the point of bursting, but tries to play it off as a knowing smile. This deception is only half successful. Oh, I think I can help with that. So select one of my lovely outfits to see if it's to your liking. Remember, my stock changes every day. Be sure to visit often. Okay. So, this party is being held by the Crown. They like conservative gowns. Sometimes they like caraco ensembles and robes a la polonaise. So, if I have 2 Crown events in a row, I might need to remember that I wore the conservative gown before, but the conservative gown is probably what we need to go with if we can afford it, which we can't. Okay. Crown doesn't like that. It really doesn't like that. Oh, everything's so darned expensive, even with the 100 I had. So... well, unfortunately... oh, you can search it by... Crown. It'll need to be the robe à la François, or Francais, or whatever it's called. I can't speak French. I only speak German a little bit. So we'll buy that one. Leave the shop. I'm glad nothing was exactly 100 because then I would have kicked myself because I spent it on wine. You awaken to the vision of sunlight filtering through the shutters, scattering sunbeams across this dusty bedroom. It takes a few minutes before you groggily remember the events that brought you here. You also remember that tonight you have a party to attend. Camille enters your bedroom, already full of cheer. Madame, would you like to start getting ready? If this is as important as the invitation makes it seem, I should start preparing now. That's good to hear. These preparations always seem to take all day. On days where you have a party, you won't have time to spend exploring Paris. Once you go to your wardrobe, we can get started. I've never really done anything like this. Is there anything I should know? Don't worry, madame. A glamorous woman like yourself is sure to catch on quickly. Click here to go to the wardrobe. Okay. So we've got my provincial outfit, which is really good for the military, apparently. So if I have any military stuff, I can just wear that. But I think we'll need to do the robe à la Francais. Exhausted, -5 credibility. No, that's my credibility. Okay, now you have an outfit selected, you can click here to go to the party. Oh, okay. Let's go to the party then. When your carriage drops you off at the party, you find yourself waiting in line for quite some time. Looking at the other guests, you wonder if you're underdressed or overdressed. It's honestly hard to tell. The guests have no strong feelings on your outfit and your credibility hasn't changed much. With preparations like this, the results of tonight could be a toss-up. While you're determining your standing in the world of fashion, you manage to overhear an interesting rumour while in line. You make a mental note of it just in case. You've gained a piece of cheap Crown gossip. This will be useful later. Unfortunately, you can feel exhaustion set in as soon as you think of the full itinerary ahead of you. Tonight is going to be a long night. Being exhausted has given you a credibility penalty. But I had no chance to rest. Immediately upon entering the vestibule, you're greeted by a doorman holding a small ledger. I think a lot of this early stuff that's happening to me is to show me in small amounts what will happen if I allow myself to be exhausted, if I allow myself blah, 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 blah. So that I have to make good use of my time. Immediately upon entering the vestibule, you're greeted by a doorman holding a small ledger. While he isn't physically barring your entry, his manner certainly is. Name, madame? Yes, respectfully. I will give my proper name. Yvette Decor. The doorman looks perplexed at you for a moment, flipping through his ledger. I do not see your name here, madame. I am Baron Armand de Marbeau's date. He could not attend. Ah, that is most unfortunate, the doorman replies, surprisingly disappointed. The good Viscountess de Foix was so looking forward to seeing him tonight. Please convey our deepest regrets at his absence. Our well wishes to his health. Is there anything I can get you? Yeah, because I couldn't spend much on the dress, let's give wine. You'll be able to take this gift of wine to our hostess. With a small flourish, you present a bottle of wine you had the forethought to bring earlier. It wasn't cheap, but the gesture is more important. Ah, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. I know that one, madame. I shall make sure the Viscountess is aware of your generosity. Turning from you, he waves imperiously to another servant nearby, who takes the bottle from you. Afterwards, the servant dutifully scurries away. You hear some appreciative murmurs from the other guests in the vestibule. Your gratitude and enthusiasm seem to have made an impression on them, doing away with some of the tension in the air. Surprisingly, the doorman himself seems rather unfazed. Wine always seems good in this. Maybe not so much with the church, or maybe more so with the church. You've lost some peril and gained some credibility. Oh, fantastic. Oh, we lost 3 of our peril and we're back up to 5 credibility. Wonderful. Before you can ask any other questions, he bows deeply to you. Pardon-moi, madame. Viscountess de Foix instructed me specifically to inform her as soon as you had arrived. We'd heard so much about you. What do you mean? You didn't know me a second ago. Enjoy the party, he says with a smile before leaving. Oh, now we've got to pick the conversations. Okay, let's have a look. Enter the room. Seems like I could be into a few of these sorts of events. He might be able to tell you more about the host. A pair of ladies are whispering among themselves about some rumour concerning the family of His Majesty King Louis XIV. That information could be useful later. Cheap crown gossip. But we could end up losing credibility and maybe gaining peril. This one, we could end up gaining credibility. But we've got to be careful to avoid peril. These two. Some guests are admiring a painting of the hostess. Apparently, it was painted by someone of considerable skill. In fact, you might even be able to meet such a person later. -1 to 1, Elizabeth favour. -10 to 5, credibility. I think this gentleman here we're going to talk to first. A splendid hostess. Looking for someone to talk to, you approach an older man who seems to be standing by himself and appraising the room. He nods politely to you as you approach. I don't think I've seen you here before. A prudent guest, okay. How do you know our hostess, the Viscountess de Foix? I'm actually going to be truthful here. I've never met her before. What's she like? Ah, the Viscountess inherited her title a few years ago, and her father's vast fortune with it. She's currently unwed, though a few suitors certainly appear to be trying to court her. An older man rapidly lists the hostess' qualities with the same tone that one might use to describe a horse they were trying to sell. However, with her current level of favour at court, any suitor would have to be influential indeed in order to attract her notice. She also happens to be rather particular about her appearance, and in all my years of knowing her, I have yet to see her forget anyone who has slighted her, so good to know. Does that help clarify things at all? A moneyed woman of fashion who tolerates no fools. Interesting. Exactly. Marcel has many qualities, but humility and forgiveness are not among them. Over your shoulder you hear a voice call out. A brief glance reveals an elegant older woman, bedecked in jewellery, gesturing insistently with her fan. Ah, pardon-moi, madame, duty calls. I wonder whether if I had been rude there, she would have maybe, like, overheard that and that would have been terrible for my credibility. I'm not sure. With a polite nod, he exits the conversation to mingle in the rest of the party. Okay, that didn't change anything, but I learned a little. So I'm guessing this is going to be the Viscountess. Marcel appears. A woman in a staggeringly pink dress is approaching you, carrying her pet dog. Judging by the way other guests are looking at her, you can surmise this woman is the Viscountess Marcel de Foix, the woman who invited you and Armand here. So we could end up with some massive credibility, or we could really fluff it up and get -10, and we could pick up to 10 peril here. Okay. You nearly mistake the woman standing in front of you for some kind of walking confection. A pampered dog lounges in her arms. I don't believe we've had the chance to properly introduce ourselves. I am Viscountess Marcel de Foix. Her voice raises in volume imperceptibly, but it is enough to draw the attention of the large crowd in the room. Everyone, this is Yvette, Armand's fiancée. A murmur of interest washes through the crowd, and you can feel their eyes focus on you. I'm so glad to see you, Armand. That ambitious little thing has told me so much about you. In fact, I'd say he's quite infatuated with you. A common girl like yourself. You're so lucky. You've gained a little credibility. Oh, nice. What are we up to now? 10. Nice. Where is Armand, by the way? Oh. Okay, I'm going to ask where to find him. That's actually what I was hoping to find out. Do you know where I could find him? Marcel stares at you, concerned and shocked. You don't know where he is, and yet you still came to this little event of mine. She gestures a free hand at the most splendid party you've ever seen in your life. That is so kind of you. Of course I'll help. You've gained some more credibility. Yes. Gosh, I feel so like, ooh. After all, you've already helped me. Armand, that ambitious little rat, was always reaching above his station, always asking for people to listen to ideas that nobody should even dare entertain. His audacity truly knew no bounds. Her eyes are focused on you, but she's speaking to the crowd, who seem to whisper in agreement. Even the dog regards you with malice. Now, not only do I find out that he's a coward who's fled his fiancée and the consequences of his gall, but now I have this commoner who doesn't know her place here either. Why did you invite Armand here? Why? Why those craven nationalists in their dingy salons like to hide behind their pamphlets and newsletters? People of quality must be brave enough to denounce our enemies in person. She pauses before speaking to you in a whisper loud enough for the entire room to hear. Don't worry, I don't expect you to understand this. You've lost credibility. No! Your Armand is a conniving, traitorous opportunist who sullies the good name of the entire nobility just by being alive. The only reason he even chose a common girl like you to be his wife is because any lady of good breeding would see him for the weasel he is. Oh no! I should have said he was ill. Marcel studies your face intently for a moment and her voice suddenly fills with concern. Oh, you poor girl, don't look so hurt. Think of this as educational. You don't belong in Paris, the same way a stray cat doesn't belong in that dress. She gestures dismissively at your finery. Really? Try to look like us, act like us. Stop, you're just embarrassing yourself. I can't lose anymore. Now leave my estate and never show your face here again. Armand, I feel like you are not helping matters at all. Before you can reply, a valet grabs you roughly by the arm and drags you from the room. People like Viscountess de Foix don't need to do their own dirty work. They have servants for it. It takes far longer than you'd like to get outside. As the entry is crowded with guests preparing to leave, you can feel their eyes weighing heavily on you. When you finally get to the door, you feel a brutish shove, and you stumble out into the courtyard, barely keeping your balance in your heels. The area is equally crowded with various persons entering their personal carriages. You can hear somebody snicker, but you have no idea who it was. Oh, this is terrible. The only thing left to do is go home. Sigh, this has been a night. I'll just leave. Choosing to take the high ground, you straighten your posture, hold your head high, striding towards your carriage as if it was your intention to leave like this all along. While you make a great effort to haughtily avoid eye contact with all those watching you, you can tell some of them are quite surprised by your decorum in this dire situation. Oh, I gained some credibility for that. Okay, I'm trying here. When you arrive at the place where your carriage is parked, you quickly find out that it isn't. It's gone. You check to make sure that you're in the right place, but to no avail. The carriage you hired is simply not there. He went home, a passing coachman says helpfully, while adjusting the harness on a particularly grumpy horse. Dorman came out about an hour ago, told him he wanted the coach to leave without you. Seemed real important, so he went home. Before you can even respond, he gets his carriage moving, leaving you alone with yet another indignity. Going back to Marcel is obviously unacceptable. It's too far to walk home, and most of the other guests have already left. However, there appear to be 3 other carriages waiting to leave, each of them quite different. Perhaps one of them can help. Inspect the humble carriage to the left. The carriage to the left of you is of foreign design and features a gilded crest as its only ornamentation. This crest is emblazoned with a motto in Latin and appears to belong to a priest of some description. Oh gosh. I need to check my dress. The curtains are drawn, but someone appears to have lit a lantern inside. Judging by the occupant's silhouette, it looks like he's reading. Do I have a way to inspect my dress? I need to remember then what dress I'm wearing in case random stuff like this comes up. Oh, golly gosh. Perhaps not. I'll examine the other carriages. Examine the bold carriage in the middle. The carriage in front of you is obviously being used by a soldier of some sort. The driver is leaning quite intently towards the passenger compartment, waiting for orders. You recognise the insignia of the Queen's Dragoons on the side of the carriage. It feels noble and proud, but also capable. I think I might go with this one because I think my dress has good military standing, but we'll have to see. He's a man of honour, sworn to protect France. I'm the next best thing to that. Let's go. Settled in your decision, you set out, ready to entrust your fortune to an honourable stranger. At the sound of your approaching footsteps, the coachman's hand flickers towards his weapon. Turning towards you, he looks up and down before he relaxes. With an apologetic nod, he gestures you towards the door of the carriage. You rap your knuckles gently against the carriage door. The door opens immediately and the man inside steps out. He bows to you, formal and precise. Corporal Dumas of the Queen's Dragoons. How may I be of service? My name's Yvette Ducal. May I trouble you for a ride to my home? Please call me Yvette. I have been beset by grave misfortune and need your help. Oh, I think that will go down better probably with a military person. He glances off to the side and shuffles his feet slightly. That does sound terrible. How can I refuse? Corporal Dumas gestures to the carriage and you climb in. The second you're seated, the carriage takes off, working its way towards the main road. The pace is fast and purposeful. Corporal Dumas is across from you, not quite staring, but certainly assessing you. Why did you decide to give a stranger like me a ride? When I wear these colours, I represent the Queen herself. I could never turn down a woman in need. He straightens up in his seat, looking every bit the man of action. Besides, it's the right thing to do, which is its own reward. How did you find yourself to be without a way home? Would you believe something tricked my coachman into leaving without me? He chuckles. Well, you're here in my carriage, so I have no choice but to believe it. Unless this is some new sport where beautiful women see how many rides they can get from gullible do-gooders like myself. You've gained a little favour with Corporal Dumas. That's good. If it is, you'll have to teach me the rules sometime so we can play on equal footing. Any other questions? I don't mean to be rude, but what was an enlisted man like yourself doing at that party? You're not being rude, it's a fair question, he replies, flicking his rank insignia for emphasis. Every now and again someone remembers my father and sends me an invitation as a courtesy between nobles. Despite my considerable talents, I think they're really just inviting my father's memory, not me. Still, I attend because I'd hate to insult the host by turning them down. A comrade of mine was nice enough to arrange for me to have this carriage for the evening. He waves around to your conveyance, which is probably only meant for officers. Let me turn the question around. What was a commoner like you doing at that party? My fiance's missing and was supposed to be there. I'm just looking for leads. You're a woman on a mission then, Corporal Dumas grins, offering a mock salute. When you find him, I'm sure he'll appreciate your loyalty. At least I can't imagine a man who wouldn't. You've gained some more favour. Okay, cool. Is there anything else that you'd like to know? Did you have a good time tonight? Of course, I enjoy being the centre of attention, and there isn't an audience I cannot thrill, he laughs. From the theatre to the sword, I have a repartee for all occasions. As you can tell, I'm also extremely humble. He gives you an exaggerated wink. What about yourself? What happened in there? I'm going to say our host felt it was acceptable to victimise me for something my fiancé did. Disgusting. Corporal Dumas replies, his lips curling into a sneer. I have no idea what our host was thinking, doing something so mindless and cruel. They should be ashamed. You deserve better. You talk with Corporal Dumas for a while longer, exchanging jokes and pleasantries. The conversation turns to your childhood in the country and coming to Paris. As you might have guessed, I'm not from Paris originally either. My father had to sell some precious things in order to bring me across the ocean and pay for my schooling. Needless to say, I was immediately captivated with life here. How are you finding your first few days in Paris? It's trying, harsh consequences, but I see the possibility of great rewards. Finally, someone who gets it. Corporal Dumas slaps his thigh and laughs with excitement. Amazing. I'll have you know that it took me over a year in Paris to fully grasp that fact. Even more favour. Okay, we're doing well with Dumas. He stares out the window at the city. Sometimes I feel like that's why I fell in love with this place. It doesn't love unconditionally. It can be infuriatingly fickle. Still, here you can climb to heights greater than any other place in the world. Your conversation with Corporal Dumas continues for the entire ride. He's polite, forward, and seems to have a healthy respect for you. However, you find he dodges your questions whenever the subject of his family comes up. You try not to let it bother you. Everyone has their secrets, after all. You're surprised by the carriage coming to a stop. You were so lost in dialogue that you hadn't even realised that you managed to make it home. Before the coachman can even hop off his box, Corporal Dumas opens the door and steps down. He offers you his hand. He helps you down effortlessly and favours you with a theatrical bow. After braving all manners of danger, we have arrived at your home safe and sound. The Queen's Dragoons are proud to add another great victory to their name. You've gained more favour with the Corporal. I'm doing well with him, eh? And while we accept no payment, I must ask a favour of Nada. Sorry. A favour of you, madame. Name it. Next time you meet, please call me Thomas Alexandre. He pauses to stare into your eyes, or simply Alex, if you like. Before you can reply, he's already bounded into his carriage and sailed off into the night. You turn to your home and see that Camille is already there, holding the door open for you. Who is that, she asked. A good soldier doing his duty, nothing more, or an intriguing man of honour, and hopefully someone I'll see more of. Let's just go with the soldier doing his duty. You step inside and head upstairs, your mind still reeling from the day's events. Slowly you get undressed and open your journal to record exactly what transpired tonight. Gosh, that was... So we had 90, we're at 90 novelty. Is that 90 novelty lost? I'm not sure. Okay, so the Queen was recently seen bedecked in its spectacular new diamond necklace. Is it a sign of royal power or an unnecessary excess? To remember that, we got minus 10 credibility, minus 10 money, minus 3 peril. So we did take our peril down a little bit. That was good. And 6 favour with Alex. Yes. Okay, so I think we're at like 45 minutes in now nearly. So I think that's time probably to wrap this one up. If you guys do, this is just like a little first taste that I'm doing. I call it first taste because Arak does, but I'm supposed to call it Let's Check Out. That's what I call it on the channel. But it's a first look. If you want to see more, then please make sure that you give this lots of love, lots of likes, lots of comments, all that sort of thing, and we will continue the story. If not, then you can always pick this one up for yourself. It's just out on Steam. It's been out for a few days now. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please do leave me a like below. If you'd like to see more, then as I say, please do like and subscribe and everything. I hope to see you all soon. In the meantime, please look after yourselves and keep being awesome.